All right, hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the next video of the next day of NQ from the previous day. So in the previous day, let me just bring this up. We're currently here. I know we added a little bit of data here from corn because I just tried to randomize something just to show you guys that everything we do is the same, and we're still in drawdown, which is great. So, it didn't account for any insane gains or anything like that, which is good. And from a data perspective, if we go back to the NQ, which was here, the previous day, as you might have remembered, was like a 0.5 minus 1, 0.5, 0.5, 0 minus 1. So like a very break-even day on that day. So we're going to continue from this point onwards and once again follow the exact same rules, demonstrating how following a predictable set of rules and executing upon them over and over and over again will lead to overall success in your own trading. And what's really cool is you can literally take just these videos alone, just these beginning ones where we've executed one kind of system with one kind of management on pretty much one market so far for a lower time frame, and use them for yourself to go get your first funded account, to get your first mini forward test of profitability, whatever it might be, because well, you're seeing firsthand what you can do right now to make money, even if it means you're wrong most of the time. When you're right, you're not getting every single trade. Your trades might be running 5RR plus, as you guys saw, and we might not be getting anything out of them, right? This is part of trading. And once you accept that and understand that, it becomes very easy to make money in the market, right? So let's look for the next day, 12th of February. Look for, that's the 13th, 12th at 9:30 a.m., which would be here, or a candle before that. Now again, very, very quickly and very simply, let's go to 9:30. Okay, on to the left, there we go. 9:30. Now very quickly, we are still in the same bullish context on the higher time frame. Higher time frames in clear stage 1s and 2s, stage 1s and 2s. Recently been in a stage 1 and likely started to come out of a stage 2, and we started trading on this day here. That's when the initial test started. And since then, we've just showed up every single day to trade a bullish-based actionable approach of a lower time frame EVC. And that's what we're going to continue to do while this market remains in a bullish market. Because again, I want to layer my system in such a way that I'm not looking to take longs and shorts in the market and trying to and basically getting confused with where I want to go. Even though it's possible, even though the concepts are valid and they are occurring on both sides of the market, you have to ask yourself the question of whether you want to be the person that is trading both sides, or if you want to be the person that's trading a little bit less, maybe has more patience, but is using that patience to basically trade less and take the better opportunities for yourself and potentially make money on this. So just something to keep in mind as we go forward. So let's head to the 10-minute and let's head over to the 9:30 a.m. of the next day, which would be today. It's actually 5:38 p.m. today. Again, I'm not doing this during the day because it would literally be, 6 hours, 7 hours of me just sitting there, or an hour, 2 hours of me just sitting there and waiting for price. Maybe there's something like that we can do for another day or another video, but I'm not personally executing a system like this on a lower time frame at the moment. So I see no reason to sit there and watch NQ on a very low time frame for potential opportunities when I'm not actually trading it, and instead I'm looking to trade some other entries and opportunities somewhere else, right? So as we come into 9:30, we clearly move into what appears to be a distribution MB on the 10-minute. So like context time frame, probably not even a reason to go lower and look for anything. This could go through a cycle here for sure on a 1 minute and create some pretty nice opportunities, but I'm going to simply wait for this to stage 1 and maybe start to move higher. We're to stage 1 and then, maybe start an MMB somewhere here, but right now I would not trade this, right? So we'd be missing these trades, but that's part of the game. That's perfectly fine with me. Just looking for a kind of like a little stage 1. Okay, so at this point, right, what we start to do is we start to MMB, or we start making like what might be an MMB, right? We fail to make an MMB to the downside and continue this push. Instead, we start to kind of accumulate through this point, and maybe this was a stage 1 accumulation. So we can keep an eye on the 1 minute now to see if it's in an environment that becomes worth trading or taking an opportunity on, right? So right now, it actually comes through this accumulation and pauses right at the rising averages for an MMB1, which means that the 10-second could actually move into a potential accumulation MB. So let's see if we can do that. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good. I wouldn't mind taking an opportunity through this right here. Take a buy stop through that high, throw the stop under, look for that 1-to-1 with a tick above. See if we can get tapped in. We do get tapped in, pushes up, pulls back. Looks like it's just gonna pushes up, pulls back. So again, same thing here, where again you have this setup but you're playing around and you're setting up this setup here. So what I would do here is I'd set up along here, just like this, same exact rules, and I'd probably just throw my take profit at break even, which simply means that either price hits here now and I take a -1, or price comes up and hits this and I take a break even. So let's see what happens. Okay, so this actually ends up being a break even. So again, this would be 2-12. Our first trade would be a 0. And now what we'll have is we'll have a long setup on at this high with maybe a stop like this. Look for that 1-to-1 with a tick above. See if we can get tapped in. Price pushes up, it doesn't tap us in. Still looks good though. Taps us in right up here. So now we're back in the trade. Again, we're just basically trading, if you want to think about it this way, like this double MB, but we're trading a triple MB of the setup. So we're just using the E micro to position ourselves a little bit better. And now we're just going to look for that 1-to-1 with a tick above. Same rules. Starts playing around, moves higher. Kind of have the same thing happening again, where yeah, this is very, very interesting, where you're setting up another MB without moving. So, you know, in a moment like this, I would literally not set up a buy here. I would probably just throw my stop at break even and let this thing do whatever. Like if it wants to take off here, great, I'll make money, right? So if it takes off now, I'll make money. But if it comes right back to that point, literally that point right there, I'll take a break even or a tiny, tiny loss, like minus 0.04 RR, right? Very small. And I wouldn't take another long through this. I don't like that we haven't made a move yet. This just doesn't seem right. So we'll just let this thing do whatever it needs to do. Okay, so that would break me even, to be just completely honest. And I would just wait for the next opportunity to trade because, well, this thing isn't doing what I wanted it to do. Instead, it's just playing around at entry. So yeah, so I mean, like, what do we got here? So like this might work. Let me look at the 1 minute now. So the 1 minute went through this accumulation, paused here, right? I mean, this might work, but why is it not taking off? That, you know, that's ultimately the question that I'm kind of asking myself. Is it not taking off because it needs more time, which doesn't make much sense, or does it need to go and create another flush to create a move? So I'm in the assumption that it wants to flush to create a new move, which means that I don't want to trade this, right? Because like the reality behind this is like this should be taking off, right? This should be moving if it wants to be a proper MMB. Otherwise, right now it's starting to look like it's just, well, sidewaysing, right? So we'll wait for this to pull back or to fail or whatever. Yeah, you can see it's just pausing now. Okay, starts a little move, so it looks like maybe we miss it. Okay, and then starts coming back down. So again, this is, you know, it was good. It started being good, and then it failed to keep moving, right? So to me, this looks like it wants to now chop around or wait for a better setup later. Yeah, I mean, this was a potential entry inside of here. I'll show you that, guys, right now. So on the 10-second, you know, yeah, look at this. So I just missed this, but this is the entry I would want to take, right? So the expectancy was a flush and a move here. Now, if you're being honest with yourself, I would have taken this 100% of the time, but because I'm making a video for you guys and I'm walking you through the thought process, I'm not even going to add this, even though at the moment this would already be a break even, you know, yeah, I mean, this is a break even with a gainer. Like this already looks very good. Like I'll show you this on the 1 second. You're going to see the same thing. Here's the buy stop, throw the stop kind of under this area here, and here we are. So that's a move that's missed. That was my bad. I went way too quickly. I played price too quickly. I didn't give this thing a chance to pause down, so that's how it goes. And if we want to label this, I probably see, yeah, I mean, this is MMB1 at the moment. Maybe we get another pause though, and then we can take a trade through it. And here we are. So this should all be profit right now, right? This should be the big winning trade. And guess what? I'm just not going to take it, and I'm just going to assume that I fucked it up. And instead, as price moves higher now and pauses, I'm going to assume that we're now making maybe an MMB2, and now there could be an opportunity inside of this action for another trade, okay? So looking for that flush and maybe a little build up here. Yeah, it looks pretty good, but I don't know if I could trade this yet. Now this looks really good, right? You have this MB1, MMB2, accumulation MB1, accumulation MB2. Take a look at the 1 second. You have this high right here that you can take a buy stop at, tick above, throw the stop kind of under these lows, and look for that entry. Try to go slower here. So it just breaks down below everything. Not really a trade worth taking there, right? It just breaks down. Let's take a look at the 1 minute, make sure it's still in a clear, yeah, so this is coming right into the 10, which means it's being bought up at the rising 10/20. So we still look really good for a potential entry. And I'm just waiting for an accumulation MB or something worth buying, kind of like this, right? This looks really nice. This looks exactly like this a little bit, just pausing a little bit less at the moment. Look at the 1 second, same exact thing. Again, just using the E micro to set up a buy. Throw the stop under, look for the entry. Yeah, looks good for a trade. Breaks down, again, nothing to do. Head back to the 10 second. Also, I'm just gonna take this and put it into a, where is it? Into an anchored piece of text, there we go. So it still looks really good. Oops, didn't mean to go to the 30 second. So 10 seconds flushing here, we could definitely start accumulating here. This is probably its last chance to accumulate. And there you go. You have a perfect double MB being built from that. Take a look at what that looks like on a lower. There you go. You have a high you can kind of buy stop, a high you can buy stop. So we'll throw a buy stop through this tick, 1 tick above that, throw a stop here and a tick below, and look at that 1-to-1 with a tick above. So again, very simple management, keeping it consistent with everything we've seen so far, no changes, and looks like price doesn't want to go. We're going to cancel this for now and just see what price does in developing here. Comes and takes out the lows, so clearly that accumulation is not getting held. Look at the 10 second, look at the 1 minute. The 1 minute is actually at its last possible area where it might get bought. So I still think it looks okay for an entry. I don't think anything's wrong with this. I think this is still great. MMB is getting bought up at the average. So I think we can definitely get a little move out of this, but I don't want to see it really go any lower. Like going any lower than this literally would be a problem. Yeah, and you kind of create this little high that could be buy stop. This is preference now. I probably would wait a little bit for a cleaner high. Well, now that we're pausing here, it means that the lower timer is probably building a very clean high that we can actually just take a buy stop through. So the fact that we paused there would just bring me a little bit of confidence, a little bit more confidence to actually take this long. Take it for a 1-to-1 with a tick above, see if we get tapped in. So it does tap us in. We'll look for the 1-to-1 partial now. We don't get it, so it's a very easy -1 on that trade. Cancel that. Take a look at this again. And yeah, we're building this high for a long, so I'd have a long set up here. Probably just have it very simply set up like this. Just let it, yeah, so there we go. We get a failure, so nothing to do there. And the 1 minute probably has failed below. It has. I would not be interested in this thing anymore. And I would just assume this is now distribution for the purpose of new reaccumulation, and I would wait. So here we go. We come down. Now what I want to see is a push up, maybe a little pause here for an MMB, and then we could get a very nice push higher. That would be the MMB1. Let's see if we can get that. Just not good action. I don't like this. Yeah, I would ignore this. That's fine. Yep, so we wait for this stage 1 to become a stage 2 to the upside. Looks like it fails down. Really not much to do. Still in a stage 1, clearly probably building the MMB2 of the higher 10-minute time frame, right? So 10-minute probably accumulated somewhere around there and is now making an MMB1 maybe of that overall move. So we're expecting this stage 1 to maybe lead into a stage 2 that might give us momentum MB entry to the upside, okay? I probably would not trade this. So at this point, you know, the 50 is coming down, so I would wait for this to start a stage 2 to the upside now. Very nice push higher, expected, and now we could see a pause that leads to an entry, I think, would be good. So again, to label this, we definitely have like an MMB1 inside of here. And I don't really see something to trade here yet. Maybe one more down candle. Yeah, it looks like we just missed this and we're on the sidelines for... Okay, cool. So I think this right here actually looks pretty valid for a potential trade. And let's take a look at the 10 second. So you have this very nice stage 2 move. Very clear stage 2 move as well. We missed this trade inside of here and maybe some trade inside of here if there was a way to trade that. So, you know, that's okay. That's part of the game. But I'll look here for another opportunity and see what happens. Looks good. See what a lower time frame looks like. I don't like it yet. I'll probably just wait a little bit. You know, maybe if we get a little pause here. Yeah, I mean, I think this looks fine. I probably just take this. So just give it a little bit of time to build up some potential stage 1 here that we can now take an entry through. 1-to-1 with a tick above. See if we get tapped in. We do get tapped in. Look for that 1-to-1. We get that 1-to-1, so that's a plus 0.5. And once again, this is up around 2. So we're looking for that 5RR area, and our stop loss will still be here. Idea now is wait for a pullback, let it move through the high, move your stop loss to break even, right? Same rules as always. So you get like a little pullback just like that. See if it moves through the high now. Yeah, it looks really good though, if it can move through this high now. So we already know what that high is. So we'll just go to the 10-second and speed this up, because either this takes us out now or keeps us in. Let's see. So we wait. We're just waiting for this high right here, okay, to move to break even. Okay, so I'd be more than happy to take my stop and move it to break even here. All right, so now we've secured 0.5 hour guaranteed on this trade, which is nice. And again, kind of looking for that 4-5 RR area for the higher highs and higher lows to just start managing this. The same rules that we've used so far in every single trade. So again, same thing, we've reached that 5, and we're probably just gonna expect this thing to collapse back down. But if it doesn't want to, then great. We'll probably get a higher low and then a higher high that we can manage our stop behind. And just like that, we have a potential runner. So now I'm just gonna manage very basic higher highs and higher lows. There's your higher low that then stops us. Oh, does not stop us out. So again, we're just managing to that low. Nothing else to do. If this was MMB1, MMB2, maybe this is MMB3. So, you know, when I'm looking at this, maybe there's one more move, then a move up. Maybe we can manage a little bit heavier if that happens, right? So just looking for that overall cycle. Higher low, looking for a higher high. Beautiful. We can move our stop up here. Then you get this mini pause and a move higher. So this could even be an MMB4. I don't know. But I'm going to throw my stop here and secure some of that move. Yeah, I think you're getting a little bit of potential distribution here. So higher low, higher high. Let this thing distribute into it or make another move. And I'll probably just partial into one more move higher. Let's see what happens. I expect this to stop us out, by the way, as we're looking at this. Okay, beautiful. So we get stopped out at right there at 14.53R. Holy shit. Which, remember, we don't actually make 14R on it because of the rules that we've been using. So we only take off 50% of what we had because we already took a 50% partial here for our management reasons. But this becomes a gain of 7.25 RR. Plus 7.25. And once again, we head back to the 1 minute and we follow the same rules. So you can see in this case what happened is we just caught this MMB here for this move. And that's all it took for us to secure a very nice little profit on the account there. We have MMB1, MMB2, maybe MMB3 or 3. So there could be one more pause and another move, maybe. Let's just see what happens. If this pauses, maybe we can take another opportunity. So it does pause again. We can take a look at that 10-second. Same thing as before, it's around 12 p.m. So we're good in terms of time and opportunity that could lead from this, but very nice move higher, very nice flush. Watch for the buildup of accumulation. I think this is very solid, right? You have MB1, MB2 just above. That's this little area there. More than happy to take an opportunity through that high, tick above, throw the stop under, one tick below, 1-to-1. And again, remember, this is all without considering that one trade. I forgot where it was, but that one trade that I would have also been very happy to take, but I went too quickly, right? So again, this could have been an even bigger winning day, but that's okay, because we're not here to play the what if game. I'm just here to show you how following simple rules lead to proper, well, there we go, that lead to results, right? Plus 0.5, looking for that kind of 1-to-5 area. Again, let this thing pull back, let it move higher, and then we can manage a proper break even. Moves higher, pull back, watch for a new high now. So that just becomes a 0. There we are. Beautiful. Head back to the 10-second. You're having a new failure back down, so look at the 1 minute. 1 minute is selling off into the averages. I'll probably give it another candle. You know, very big selling, and then it kind of pauses. This is good. I think this could lead to a nice little opportunity inside. Yeah, so this right here could be an opportunity in itself, but looks like I missed it, so I'll wait for a new one. You know, I think the 1 second is probably going to be setting up some kind of Buy stoppable high here. I'll give it a little bit of time. Yeah, I think this looks fine. We can buy stop this high, throw it above, throw the stop under, 1-to-1 with a tick above. Okay, we get tapped in, comes down, and actually just takes us out for an easy and very quick loss. So that's actually 2 losses on the day. So I'm more than happy to keep on looking for opportunities until we hit our 3. Until we hit 3 losses on the day. 1 minute looks okay. I think it's getting a little bit choppy. I'll probably ignore this for a little bit here and just let this thing become a little bit of a better setup. So looks like ignoring it led me to miss this, which is, you know, part of the game. But I think what's happening now is we have this MMB3, and that's playing out. See if we get a little pause. We do. I think here is a fine area to trade for that move, maybe MMB4, move higher, and then we're good. Here we are. And yeah, it's setting up a trade right here, literally as price is at this point. Put it a tick above, stop a tick below, 1-to-1 with a tick above. See if we get tapped in. Plays around, moves down, still holds that low, so this is still an MMB. This is still a double MB, but I'll probably throw my stop down here now and leave this at its 1-to-1 tick. There we go. See if we get tapped in, plays around. Yeah, still same thing. Takes out that low, nothing to do. So 10-second loses that high, breaks down here, pushes up higher and creates another potential MB area. Let's look at the 1 minute. Still looks really good in terms of where it is. So there's going to be a buy right here. Let's look at the 1 second for the proper tick above, stop below. Probably throw it a little bit under just because of the look of this little area here. Usually I'd expect a little move down before going, so we'll give it a little bit of space here. So it does tap us in. So this is a tap in. So if this comes and takes us out, that's perfectly fine. Comes up, comes down. So now you have this. Okay, I was gonna say we can do the thing where we throw our TP here, but it looks like it just comes and takes us out entirely for a loss. And just like that, for 2-12, we've added 3 more losses to the logbook. Let's jump in here and let's record those. I'm gonna do them on the side so you guys don't have to see me switch between them multiple times. So we have a 0, 0, -1. We have a plus 7.75. We have a 0, a -1, -1, and here we are. So once again, I'll just prorate this stop loss through, prorate the dates through so we can see it from beginning to end. Throw NQ in here since this was on NQ. And once again, after another day of successful trading where again, you spent another, how long? Yeah, so in this case, it looks like you spent a good bit of time trading today, right? From the open. So from the open, in terms of watching price throughout the day, yeah, you spent about 3 hours kind of trading the market. You ended up around 3 RR or so. And the analysis currently with that in mind puts us at just around break even from over 30 trades ago. Very solid. I think it looks great. And there you go. Another representation of using the exact same concepts in a little bit of a different light in terms of different management, and maybe a little bit of different management style through an EVC that's lower, but layering it within a higher. And yeah, there we are. We end up at this point here following this action. And we'll repeat again the exact same thing the next day and the next day and the next day. And hopefully you guys are truly seeing that just because you're trading a lower time frame, as I love to say, doesn't mean that you're just quote unquote making money fist over fist, right? It doesn't matter whether you're a higher time frame or lower time frame trader. There are normal and expected periods of drawdown, of break evens, of losses, because that's the only thing that fuels the wins that will occur, right? It was literally a question of if I didn't play the replay mode too quickly, that we take 2 winners today, right? And instead of +7, it becomes +7, +4, right? Maybe we're up here now with a drawdown here. It doesn't really matter because all of it comes down to the same thing, right? I have kind of the same thing happening in my own equity curve right now. Just taking normal losses and break evens, and well, as you can see, right, we're just going through basic drawdown, right? We're in this period right now in the quote unquote live replay mode EVC of a lower time frame within a higher time frame here, right? And we'll just keep doing this for a little bit. Hopefully it continues to improve and help a lot of you. But notice how if you are setting a goal to get funded, it doesn't mean that you're going to get it like instantly. It doesn't mean that you're going to do it in one day. In some cases, it means that you literally have to just do this and sit there and work at it for a longer period of time. But it's worth it because you actually have a system under your belt you can trust, right? The point of this here is to show you that even as a mentor, right, I'm sitting here taking normal losses, break evens, right, with no expectancy for what's going to happen, just a pure understanding and a belief and confidence in the prior data that I've already tested that I know works around how markets move, right? And then keeping myself out of bad shit and keeping myself in things that look good so that over time it works out to being overall positive, right? And this is where we are right now. So we'll see where this takes us. Thank you guys.